Garima, thank you so much for sticking around for a second conversation. How are you doing?
hmm I am excited to have the bonus
Yes,
conversation for your listeners. Let's do it.
exactly. So I always like to say, we as instructional designers and learning professionals, we spend so much time thinking about making other people better, making organizations better, and every now and then it's good to talk about, well, how do we make ourselves better? And so I have just two basic questions for you. Each of them is kind of a two-parter. So I'll start with backwards looking of when you look back at your past and you've had this amazing trajectory in your career. What is a major challenge that you had to overcome, and how did you have to change in order to overcome that challenge?
Absolutely. Um, and just before I jump onto my own challenge, so important that we keep our own cup full
Mm,
so that we can be giving. And I
yes.
think the learning professionals are in the habit naturally of giving. So it's very important to look back at yourself and say, okay, what am I learning? What is my professional development? And when I started in the field, I had jumped ship in terms of career paths. I had left, software coding and stuff behind and moved into a um, very different field for me because I was more, math kind of person. I know this plus this equals this, and this is a lot more fluid. It's a lot more human centered.
Yes.
And apart from that, and then there is the adult learning principles. And to some degree, I was a natural fit, but as you work in it, you realize that there is one thing about being, oh, I'm naturally good at it, I can do this, but also you need to upskill, you need to understand what you're doing, why is it good, what's the theory behind it. So I decided to do masters in adult education.
Okay.
um, I wasn't sure whether that was a good idea or not, but I just wanted a degree in the field I want to make my career in my life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And after I did it, I realized it was a wonderful idea, honestly, for me, because it validates at the very minimum what seems to be good learning principles.
Yeah.
Why is it a good learning principle? How do adults actually learn? I mean, a degree is not the only way to do it. There are multiple different ways, but somehow you should understand the theory of learning science. It is important because that is what you're applying every day. And then, of course, software, because you're shifting, you want to learn it. Again, I had a natural affinity towards learning different things. So I just, I think there was this period in my life when I started into this profession, that I was basically a sponge. I was reading everything. I was,
Yes. Yeah.
on the Articulate Heroes website every day. I was trying different things. And I think that serves me well to this date.
Yeah. I think that's great is when you're making those changes and transitions in your life, it is, you're right, it's being honest about like where are the gaps and just working every day to fill those gaps from as many directions as possible. Um, that's
And keep it fun, because
yes.
otherwise it becomes work, and then it's work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So then, awesome. So that's what got you to today, or part of what got you to today. When you think about where you're at now and where you want to be, what do you think is the biggest challenge you're currently facing? And then what are you doing, or what do you think you're going to need to do in order to overcome that challenge?
Oh my God. Okay. So this might resonate with some of learning professionals as well, because, a number of people I've met have this, oh, I want to go solopreneur. I want to
Yes.
try freelance. I want to start my own company. And I did that 6 years ago. And I look back and I was like, what was I thinking? I cannot believe it. It was such I had no network. I knew nobody in the industry. I had never worked for a vendor. I know nothing about how to get clients, how to price my services. Uh, but things have been kind, I guess, fortunately. Um, what I am learning still as an entrepreneur, and I think that's something that we always underestimate, is the business of sales,
Mm-hmm.
is how to do that. And for the longest I was like, yeah, I'm not a salesperson, I'm just good at my work. And so I would, and I realized that self talk is more harmful than anything else, because you are um, underlining that, and this is standard psych talk everybody does, but when you realize it for yourself, then it is always a new revelation that, yeah, that's not really true. And there is not only one way sales has to be done. It doesn't mean I should be a great cold caller or an email spammer, right? It is about this deep desire of helping people bring out best learning possible in their situation. And if you could be authentic about it, then it doesn't feel like sales. We assume that it's going to be something less desirable, but it doesn't have to be. So that is something I'm still learning. Matt, some days are better than others.
I am right there with you. It's one of the big things, and I think in my journey of learning more about that, I think you're so spot on in that it just has to be about if your desire to sell is coming from a desire to serve and a true belief that you have something that will help other people, right? Then it's great. Like then the sales is authentic. Then it's true. But it's when you're just like, oh, I'm just like trying to chase more money. You're trying to do more, get another contract or more labels.
My target.
Yeah, exactly. That's when it starts to, get into, maybe not great places.
Yeah, I have to say something else also. Between what my past learning and my current learning, a big difference, just as I'm talking to you right now, I realize, is that earlier I was learning tools and science and topics, and that can be done via books, and that can be done via, just absorbing and practice and stuff. Some things come with time, like sales, I imagine, right? Over time, you learn things organically and naturally. So you have to be kind to yourself as well, and you got to give yourself time, because you can't just say, oh, I'm going to read 5 books on sales and now I'll be a good salesperson. It doesn't happen like that.
No.
You really learn that over time.
Yeah.
By falling down.
Yes. Yeah. It's 100%. And there's with all things, there's ways to accelerate the learning. Sometimes it takes longer. Kindness to yourself has always got to be a priority though. So I think that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Garima. It was great for you to hang out a little bit longer. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, Matt. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you liked the discussion, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. As a reminder, if your team is struggling keeping up with the training development demands of your organization, we want to help. Better Everyday Studios is a full-service instructional design team that can help you with everything from ideation to actual content creation and delivery. Please reach out to us using the link in the episode notes below. Have a great day.